Hey everyone, Luke here from PhoneFlippingAcademy.com with another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to know when you should outsource your work. I see a lot of people out there asking in the phone flipping groups, what kind of tasks should I hire? Should I hire an ads expert? Should I hire somebody to make my ads? When and how do I know when I should hire somebody else? We're going to cover all that in today's video. I got 4 major tips for all of you, so stay tuned. Let's go. Hey everybody, Luke here. So as I just said, how to know when you should outsource your work. So there's a lot of tasks that you can perform online, and all of us have skill sets, but not everybody knows everything. So the question is, when do you actually outsource your work? So we're going to be covering 4 major tips on when you should outsource your work, and a 5th tip that I kind of just threw in there also. So that being said, let's jump right into it. So tip number one is, what's the opportunity cost of doing the work in-house? As a business owner, your time is limited. As you probably know, there's always like a big opportunity cost to actually getting the things done yourself. So like, for example, if you are a one-man band, which most of us are, think about what you stand to lose by putting all of your time and effort into doing something yourself. Will you lose a customer that day? Will you miss a phone call for a smartphone? Will you take the time away from posting ads or furthering your actual business? When you contemplate the idea of outsourcing, don't only think about what it might cost you to bring a freelancer on board. Consider what resources or opportunities you'll actually be sacrificing internally if you don't get outside help. Many people who always do it themselves actually cost themselves money, and of course, hiring someone who's an effective and cost-friendly freelancer is also very important and makes the decision much easier. Tip number 2, does anyone you know have the skills needed to get the task done or the project that you're going to be, working on? Sometimes you're better off paying someone new if you do not have a friend or affiliate that's good at what you need done. If you have a specific task that no one internal or no one connected to you is particularly good at the task at hand, then it makes sense to pay for a freelancer rather than have you spend your time to learn a new skill set to tackle the same task. Tip number 3, is it a one-time need? Is this something that you're never going to need again? So it often pays to invest in training books or online courses. Obviously, that's why I have an online course. I've been flipping phones for 7 years. I have an awesome track record, and I've got hundreds of successful students that have quit their jobs, went down to part-time, or just made extra income. Even if signing up for my course makes you an extra $1,000 a month, that's $12,000 at the end of the year. So self-education obviously is very important, but the thing is, if it's a one-time task, you have to ask yourself, do you really need to train yourself? So, like I said, it is important to invest in courses, books, training, etc. because it'll actually make you more knowledgeable for business needs in the future. But if you're talking about something and you're kind of convinced that it's a one-off need or just a one-time need, it generally doesn't make sense to sink time and money into training yourself or your team if you have like a marketing team or people working with you. Rather, you're better off finding someone who can come in and get the job done for you. If you're not that great with Photoshop, and let's just say maybe you need some stunning phone flipping ads made, let's just say like 20 or 25 of them, but it would take you a week to learn Photoshop and actually produce really nice ads, and you need it done yesterday, it's best to possibly just hire someone out and get it done. Tip number 4, will outsourcing actually be cheaper? A lot of people don't think about this one. They think that just doing it themselves instantly saves them money. That's not always true. This goes hand in hand with the timeless saying, and it really is timeless because this saying has been around forever, and that's the saying of time is money. So it's easy to assume that you'll wind up paying something, as obviously you can't have it done for free. Typically though, if you use a website like Fiverr.com when you outsource a given project, you may be able to get it done for little to nothing with acceptable quality. So if that freelancer gets the job done quickly, you might pay less for the project when you consider your current time spent away or time spent on training and time invested, making hiring a freelancer the best choice. So here's an example. Just picture this. Imagine you make $50 per hour and you need 50 awesome phone flipping ads made, and it's going to take you 2 days and around 5 hours each day. So 2 days and 5 hours out of each day to do this. So since you're making $50 an hour, that actually is a $500 project. Although it's not technically coming out of your pocket, it's taken away from the money that you could have made. But if you could hire someone on Fiverr to do it for $200 and they could get it done in 3 hours, now suddenly your project is no longer $500, but it's actually $300 and a much faster turnaround time. Not to mention, once you hire somebody and you've paid them to continue doing work, you may even make back that money while your task is being hired out, since you can actually focus on your business. This is an extremely important skill and mindset that you need to have, and it can literally be applied to all aspects of your phone flipping business or any other general business out there. So tip number 5, and this is kind of a little bit not necessarily off topic, but it's something that you need to think of. It's kind of an outside of the box tip, I guess is what you would call it. But tip number 5, will outsourcing provide more value? And you're probably asking yourself, well, nobody can do it better than me. That may be so, but there's also something where you need to think that sometimes a fresh perspective can actually be better than somebody that's been doing it every single day. So one major benefit of outsourcing is bringing people on board who specialize in what they do. Therefore, even if you have a task that you are capable of doing or handling, or you're really good at it, it often makes sense to outsource due to the added value involved. Imagine you do the same thing day in and day out, which a lot of us do. A lot of us flip phones every day. An outsider, though, on the other hand, might bring a fresh perspective to the mix, therefore adding value by creating a more compelling ad that engages and attracts a large number of customers or different customers that applies to your business. Like example, maybe their ads are just color coded differently, or they're just worded differently, and you might attract a different crowd. So basically, guys, under the right circumstances, outsourcing is a great way to meet key business goals without exhausting your time and losing out on other opportunities and compromising on quality. And that's reason enough to consider it the next time the question comes up. Do it yourself or hire an expert. Like I've always said, that's why I preach about, training, books, online courses. I have an online course myself. If you could get 7 years of my knowledge for, say, $300 or $600, take an online course and be done with it in a week, what is that worth to you? Imagine how many hours it's going to take you to learn everything that I learned in the past 7 years. Or you could just buy a course and you get it all laid out for you. That's how you have to think in business. Time is money. And which tasks should you hire? Which courses should you buy? What can you figure out yourself? When do you get help? And what is it actually costing you if you don't hire help or don't take paid training, or when to do it and when not to do it? Basically, business is just a large series of judgment calls, and the more judgment skills or knowledge you have, the better judgment skills that you have, and the more choices that you make that are more cost effective or time effective, the better and more successful and wealthier you will become. That is really the key pillar or the mindset of becoming successful and wealthy and becoming financially free. So for anybody out there who's kind of been struggling with this, or maybe been teeter-tottering whether they should do stuff themselves or hire it out, apply this to your phone flipping business, or apply it to any business out there, and this should kind of help you basically figure out, what you should do, what you shouldn't do, or where you should seek help to hire somebody or train yourself. So that being said, I hope you guys all got some value from this. Make sure you guys smash that like button, hit subscribe, and I will see you all in the next daily video.